Hi folks, today's topic of concern, Joel Borenstein, the court-assigned attorney, aka AFC, for my two biological children and my ex's lover's child. About 4 months ago, or on April 20th of this year, Borenstein admitted he never met with my two children since he was assigned as their attorney in my divorce case on August 7th of 2020, which was almost 3 years ago. Get this. Also, on April 20th of this year, he admitted to Judge Rachel Amy Adams that he's been lying about statements my son disclosed to him. Here's how sick Borenstein is. He's told me and both Judge Rachel Amy Adams numerous times that my son misses me and wants to see me. But he never met with my son. So, Borenstein made it all up for the past 3 years. Borenstein is a sick and tortured little man. And for the past 3 years, Borenstein has been offering his legal opinion on interim access orders that affect my two children and I, despite never having met his clients, much less speaking to them. Instead of ousting Borenstein to the grievance committee for spewing knowing perjury in my divorce case on April 20th, the mentally decrepit septuagenarian Judge Rachel Amy Adams issued one order with 2 directives to the AFC, one of which was to immediately meet with my 2 children within 2 weeks of the date of the order. Did Borenstein comply with the order? No, of course not. Instead, he relied on his co-client, my ex-wife, Sivan, to lie to the support magistrate presiding over my paternity case on May 31st of 23, that Borenstein supposedly met with my 2 children. Of course, I knew that was a lie, because if it were true, then Borenstein would have told Judge Rachel Amy Adams that he met with my 2 kids before May 31st, because he intentionally defied that court order. Not surprisingly, on June 26th of this year, Borenstein emailed Judge Rachel Amy Adams asking to adjourn the 7/7/23 court date because he had an opportunity to travel that he did not want to miss out on. Somehow, the court found out Borenstein hadn't met with my 2 kids since the April 20th order, and the all too left-leaning savior of the unethical officer of the court bandwagon gave the spineless worm yet another chance, including permission to take advantage of the opportunity to travel, while I still can't see my 2 kids. Do you think Borenstein filed an affidavit explaining his defiance of the 630 order? Did Occam's razor change? No, of course not. Am I living in an alternate universe where a licensed New York State attorney lies with impunity for years without being subjected to punishment, much less referral to a grievance committee by an ethical judge? No, I live in New York. This is New York jurisprudence. Any ordinary person who is ousted for perjury by a judge faces sanctions, contempt of court, or any commensurate punishment. But not in New York, where judges support lies and propaganda in exchange for your tax dollars. In New York State, assigned attorneys like Borenstein are members of the 18B panel, paid through a combination of city, state, and local funds, aka your tax dollars. As a result of the New York City Lawyers Association lawsuit against New York City, Borenstein's pay went from $75 an hour to $158 an hour. Below is the link to Borenstein's 1/22/22 affirmation in support of NYCLA's preliminary injunction against New York City. Look it up if you don't believe me. In his affirmation, Borenstein reveals his extensive financial woes, like cutting costs on his subscriptions to NYSBA, NYCBA, and BKBA, etc., and the importance of being home at night with his daughter, who was born in 2017. The same year, my daughter was also born. Borenstein claims he is so broke that he gets subsidized rent from his mom and dad. Yes, folks, Borenstein admits he lives in his parents' basement in his childhood home. Also, Borenstein reveals a lot in his shameless affidavit in support of a money grab, like having 123 open cases in family court and being unable to afford office rent, stationery supplies, or even a part-time paralegal. The affidavit is truly disturbing and supports my position that Borenstein is guilty of legal malpractice, breach of fiduciary duty, and unjust enrichment, among other crimes. Borenstein claims he relies on oral arguments because he doesn't have time to write up a motion or a response paper. Well, that's what happened exactly in my divorce case and led to him defying 3 court orders without remorse. I guess Borenstein thinks he will wiggle his wormy way out of contempt via oral argument. My advice to Borenstein is to stock up on lube and chapstick because you have a lot of sucking up to do on a post-menopausal septuagenarian, a 9-5. Judges don't care that Borenstein doesn't have a pot to piss in or that he unethically piles on as many state-paid cases as he can get to the detriment of his clients, many of whom are children, like my 2 innocent kids. Borenstein's money grab scheme is enabled by disgusting anti-Semitic organizations like Sarah's Voice, aka Shalom Task Force, who benefit from severing children's relationships with the other parent. Borenstein is a shameless worm. Even after this video goes viral, he will continue to appear in my divorce case and lie about what my 2 children didn't tell him while concealing that Sivan denies him access to his clients. Can you imagine how many other cases Borenstein has been knowingly lying on and getting away with? Hundreds. That's what his e-courts calendar shows. Look it up if you don't believe me. How many more children's lives will Borenstein ruin with his lies? I would say also hundreds. How many more fates will he ensure never have a mom or dad in their future? Hundreds, if not more. Since he began working for ACS in 2007 till 2009, Borenstein's career started by destroying childhood. First, by ensuring children are expedited to adoption for Title IV money grabs. Now he does it by ensuring they never have access to the other parent, which is typically a man. You see, Borenstein is ultra-sympathetic to women, especially mothers who remind him of his frail and high-risk pregnancy pro bono attorney wife. Borenstein destroys families, and he will also destroy your family the same way he destroyed my 2 children's rights to see their father. This low-life worm is the precise caliber of AFC material that the Unified Court System, the Office of Court Administration, and the Family Court vortex of destruction feeds on and employs. For those of you listening, if you or anyone you know in King's Family Court has Joel Borenstein assigned to represent their children, make sure he tells you with specificity when he last met with his clients, how often he meets with his clients, if the other parent is present during attorney-client meetings, and how many times since he was assigned did he comply with his fiduciary duty to your children. You as the parent have to push to get this lowlife to write truthfully about your children, because anything less will fall on deaf ears. Borenstein must be investigated and disbarred from the practice of law. Brooklyn DA Eric Gonzalez needs to open up a criminal investigation on Joel Borenstein and prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law for his misappropriating county, state, and local funds via phony 18B vouchers and invoices submitted directly to the New York City Law Department or Corporation Counsel, which is New York City Mayor Eric Adams' golden goose for funding defense counsel to corrupt judges and their law staff. The most egregious crime Borenstein committed was destroying his client's childhood and depriving them of a father or a mother for a money grab. But New York makes too much money trafficking our children through family court. Once again, thank you for watching and thank you for all your support.